Good afternoon, students, and welcome to our ICT 9 third quarter week 8 discussion. This is Aljay Buhian, your ICT 9 subject teacher. So for this week's discussion, we will be talking about computer system and network configurations. And before that, let me introduce to you the objectives for this lesson. So at the end of the lesson, the students will be able to identify computer system and network configurations, then configure computer system and network, then lastly, valuing the importance of computer system and network configurations. So to begin with, computer networks. So networks are collections of computers, software, and hardware that are all connected to help their users work together. So a network connects computers by means of cabling systems, specialized software, and devices that manage data traffic. So a network enables users to share files, resources such as printers, as well as send messages electronically or through email to each other. So the most common networks are local area networks, or LANs for short. So a LAN connects computers within a single geographical location, such as one office building, office suite, or home. So by contrast, the wide area networks, or WANs, spans different cities or even countries using phone lines or satellite links. That is the difference between local area networks and then for a wide area network. So let's proceed to the network system configuration. So all networks go through roughly the same steps in terms of design, rollout, configuration, and management. Okay, the first one would be the designing your network. So plan on the design phase to take anywhere from 1 to 3 working days depending on how much help you have and how big your network is. So here are the key tasks. So first is to settle on a peer-to-peer network or a client-server network. Then second, pick your network system software. Then third, pick a network language. Then figure out what hardware you need, and then decide on what degree of information security you need. Then lastly, choose software and hardware solutions to handle day-to-day management chores. Then another is to roll out your network. So rolling out your network requires the following steps. So run and test network cables, then install the server or servers if you are setting up a client-server network. Then if you are setting up a peer-to-peer network, you typically don't have to worry about the any dedicated servers. Then set up the workstation hardware. Then also plug in and cable the network interface cards or NICs. So these connect the network to the LAN. Then install the hub or hubs if you are using twisted pair cable. Then install printers. Then also load up the server software, which is the NOS or the network operating system if your network is a client server type. Then install the workstation software. Install modern hardware or for remote dial up. So if you want the users to be able to dial into the network. Then lastly, install the programs you want to run for the application software. Then we also have configuring your network. So network configuration means customizing the network for your own use. So these are the steps. So creating network accounts for your users, which is the names, the passwords, and groups. Then also creating areas on shared disk drives for users to share data files. So this is one of the most advantage on network, because if the computer is having a network with any other computer, they will be able to share data files. Then also we have creating areas and shared disk drives for users to share programs. So they can also share programs with the other computers from any other, or it may be LAN network or even in wide area network. So next we have setting up print queues, and then the software that lets users share network printers. Then lastly, installing network support on users' workstations so they can talk to your network. Now let's proceed to managing your network. So the work you do right after your LAN is up and running and configured can save you huge amounts of time in the coming months. So mapping your network for easier management and troubleshooting, setting up appropriate security measures to protect against accidental and intentional harm, then tuning up your LAN so that you get the best possible speed from it. Then also creating a company standards for adding hardware and software so you don't have nagging compatibility problems later. Then also putting back systems in place so that you have copies of data and programs if your hardware fails. Then installing some monitoring and diagnostic software so that you can check on your network's health and get an early warning of impending problems. Then lastly, figuring out how you plan to handle troubleshooting, educating your LAN administrator, setting up a support contract with a software vendor, and so on. So this is how you manage your network. Okay, now let's talk about smooth setup. So one key advantage of a peer-to-peer network is that it's easy to set up. With the simplest sort of peer-to-peer network, you just use the built-in networking that comes with your operating system, such as Windows 98, Windows XP, Windows 7, Windows 8, and so on. And you have very little software to set up. So even less if you have computers that have the operating system pre-installed, as most computers do these days. So for Windows XP and Windows 7, the basic steps to setting up a peer-to-peer network are as follows. So review for cabling for UTP cable. So a UTP cable category is one of the most popular LAN cables. So this cable consists of 4 twisted pairs of metal wires. That means there are 8 wires in the cable. So adding RJ45 connectors at both ends of the UTP cable, so it becomes a LAN cable which they can usually use. So in preparation, you need a UTP cable, crimping tool, RJ45, and cutter, such as the images below. So we have the UTP cable, the crimping tool, the RJ45, and the cutter. So in making the cable, or the straight through cable, or even the crossover cable, these are the following steps that we need to follow. So first is to remove the outmost vinyl shield for 12 millimeter at one end of the cable. So we call this a side or A side. So next is to arrange the metal wires in parallel. So refer each section wires arrangement table. So don't remove the shield of each metal line. So for third step, we need to insert the metal wires into the RJ45 connector on keeping the metal wire arrangement. Then fourth, set up the RJ45 connector with the cable on the pliers and squeeze it tightly. Then fifth, make the other side of the cable. So we call this side the B side in the same way, and then after you made it, you don't need to take care of the direction of the cable. So any cable in this page is directionless. So that means you can set either end of the cable to either device. So this is how to see the wire arrangement. So to take UTP cable with your left hand and a RJ45 connector, with your right hand, hold the RJ45 connector in the way you can see the contact metal face of the RJ45 connector. So as you can see at the two images, this is how we insert the RJ45 with to the cable or the UTP cable. The tables below are for the case where the UTP cable consists of green or green-white, then orange, and orange-white, then blue-white, then brown-white, twisted pairs. So we have in the right side of our slide, we have the picture or the image for the side A, side B, and then for the pin ID. So for the pin ID number 1, we have orange, white for the side A, and then for the side B, we have orange, white. Then for number 2 pin ID, we have orange. Then for side B, we have orange. Then also we have for pin ID number 3, green, white. Then for side B, green, white. 4, blue for side A. Then blue for side B. Then 5, blue, white. Then 6, green. Then 7, brown, white. And then 8, brown and brown. So this cable connection is for the straight cable, which is we can also call the 10 base T or 100 base T straight. So let us understand what it is. So 10 base T or 100 base T are most common mode of LAN. So you can use UTP category 5 cable for both modes. So you can use UTP category 3 cable for 10 base T, in which there are only 3 wires inside the cable. So a straight cable is used to connect a computer to a hub. So you can use it to connect 2 hubs in the case of one of the hubs has the an uplink port and you use normal port on the other hub. So for 10 base T and or 100 base T cross, so these are the which we call also color coding. So for side A and side B. So for side A, we will be starting with orange, white. Then for side B, we will be starting with green, white. So following the orange for side A, then for side B, green, then green, white for side A, then side B for orange, white, then blue for side A and blue for side B, then blue, white, then green, then alternate again, orange, then brown, white, then brown, white, then brown. So these are the color coding for 100 base T cross or 10 base T cross. So which is cable cross crossover cable for 10 base T and 100 base T is used to connect 2 computers directly with only the UTP cable. So it is also used when you connect 2 hubs with a normal port on both hubs. So in other words, the cross cable is used relatively in a rare case. So just like when you are using 2 computers. Okay, so to create a peer network, you must have the following components. So first is to have a network interface or local area network or LAN adapter for each computer. So the same manufacturer and model of network card is preferred. Then cabling that is supported by the network cards. Then Windows XP or 7 drivers for the network cards. Then a common network protocol and a unique computer name for each computer. So that is all for this week's discussion. Thank you for listening, and may God bless you for your activity in this topic. So if ever you want to see this presentation or discussion again, you may visit this on lcms.gaitf.com. So, and if ever you have questions regarding this question, just contact me or message me on my FB account. This is Aljay Buhian, your ICT 9 subject teacher, signing off.